I'm here today with two of our Wingman book program authors, Nita and Christine Doran, and they are sisters. They're going to share with you a little bit about our the Wingman book program and how you can get involved today. So, Nita, tell us a little bit about your books.
Okay, so I've written 3 books at this point, and for elementary through middle school. And each book, the theme of each book is basically drug prevention, as well as making healthy, positive, good choices. Each book does talk about the pitfalls and the consequences, and also offers hope. And so with the younger students, we have coloring books that also go along with the storybooks. And so I have a couple here: The Little House Who Didn't Lose Hope, and also Zeke the Bunny Who Lost His Way. And they do come with coloring books. This one, The Dragon Slayers Club, is a little bit more mature. It's from middle school and on up, and it has some powerful true stories of children that have gone through these issues, and how they helped each other, and how they vowed to stay off of drugs. And there's a lot of helps in it. And so they're really designed so that anyone, whether it's a parent or a teacher or a counselor, a Sunday school worker, can utilize these books to help the children that are under their influence. They come with lesson plans, very detailed, and with lots of activities. And we really do have to get these books into the hands of the children, because unfortunately children are dying. Children are getting on drugs a lot sooner than they used to, and they are not doing well. So we really do need to intervene and help them as much as possible.
Right.
If you go to decision.org, that's one way you can help, even if you only donated $1 or whatever. That will enable us to get the books into the hands of the kids. So please help us if this is an issue that concerns you, and we should all be concerned about it, because wherever there is a child that is being influenced to go down that drug path, that's a child that will end up getting into criminality, and that is going to affect every family. That is going to affect the community. It affects their education. So it really does affect all of us, and we need to help these kids.
Right. And I think with decisions.org, with these hard times during the pandemic, we've developed the PDF files of the books and the coloring books, so they can be emailed out to the schools and the churches. If we can't get the books in their hands right now, there is still a way to display our message. So, Christine, I know you've written several books. What has your experience been?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say, as my experience as a teacher years ago, for 27 years I was in the public school system, and I taught mainly 4th and 5th graders. And there were students that I taught whose parents were either a parent or both parents were incarcerated or were involved in alcohol and drugs, and it did impact the children. And each school, I taught a couple of different schools, there were counselors in the schools who would counsel the children, but that was it. I really wasn't involved as far as counseling or offering any kind of assistance. It was kind of a hidden thing. It was like,
right.
It was talked about, we knew about it, but so when I was presented this opportunity through my publisher, who decided to go ahead with this program using children's literature. He knew a lot about books, and he was working with somebody who was involved in the Wingman program, and then he got in touch with us about writing children's books, and as a way to use it as a tool to help children whose parents were incarcerated or are incarcerated, but also so that children can read the books and learn from them about the dangers of substance abuse and the importance of making healthy and wise choices while they're young, and then they can follow through for the rest of their lives that way. And like Nita said, the earlier the better, because children are influenced. There's influences all around, and they have to be able to make healthy choices. So these books were written in a creative way, but the common denominator is that they do teach the dangers of substance abuse.
Right.
And so that is how I got involved. So I used my background as a teacher and in writing as a writing teacher to write these books. I've written 3. There's one in publication now. Unfortunately, I forgot the other 2, but this is one. It's called Maddie's Choice, and this little girl is with her friends, and they are experimenting with alcohol, and she has to make a choice as to what to do. She sees what's going on with her friends, and she's heartbroken. But anyway, it does. She does make the choice not to. There's another one. It's a fairy tale that involves a dragon. It's called Zephyr the Dragon Slayer. It also talks about the dangers of substance abuse when one of the little fairies goes off the wrong path, and then there's an intervention, and they rescue her, and she realizes that she needs to make healthy choices. There's one about a couple of boys that are in the park, and they are offered drugs by older kids, and because this is how it is everywhere. Kids are faced wherever they go. There's pitfalls, and they have to make these healthy choices. And then the one I've just finished writing that my publisher is working on now, it involves another group of animals, and a person comes to visit their island who actually is a porcupine and not a person. But and he seems like such a good person, and outward appearance just seems like a good character, and really he's a drug pusher. So bottom line, and some of the animals make the healthy choice, like right away they recognize that there's something not quite right with him.
Right.
And that there's a couple of animals like the otters and the raccoon and badger that decide they're going to try, and then they almost die. So I think it will make a big impact. And like Nita and I were saying, these books, they're cute stories, but there is a lesson to be learned.
Right.
And so that's.
Well,
they have
really cute
beautiful illustrations. Yes,
Yeah.
my illustrator of this book is an internationally known watercolorist who also did some of my other books that weren't about drugs, but
that just helps children relate even more. Yes.
Yeah, it's on their level.
Yes.
Yes, and my books are also, I would say, grades 2 through 6. They're not so much for the middle school or high school, but so we do have books for every level.
Right.
And they can be used, like I said, like as a classroom teacher. I didn't have that in my classroom, but now that these are being used, a classroom teacher can use them. The lesson plans are being formulated. Counselors, a one-on-one with a parent, they could discuss, go through each chapter and discuss what's going on, the dangers of trying and taking drugs. So
It's a great tool.
Well,
it is
yes.
a great tool.
Well, Nita and Christine, your involvement with the Wingman Book Program is going to save many lives, and we appreciate you. And I think with going to decisions.org and getting involved, that's what we need to do for our young children and educate them. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much.